It's Tom from Inspiration Metalworks, and in this week's video, we're going to make a set of these little games. Alright, it's loud and crazy in here today, but lots of stuff going on. In this video, which is brought to you by the letter Z, actually by Zach. I was contacted recently by one of my patrons named Zach, and he had a request that I make a set of these games that he uses when they're bowling. And so I talked to him, got one done, asked if it was okay to make a video. He was good with that, so yeah, let's take a look at making this. Now, keep in mind that Zach did the drawing. He sent it to me as a step file, and I imported that step file into Fusion and did all the cam itself, but the design was all his.
Alright, first step is to do some facing here. So I'm using Superfly at 2500 RPM, moving about 10 inches a minute. It's really, I think it's only taking about 10,000 off the top, but since these are going to be viewed quite a bit, I wanted to make sure I had a nice pretty surface finish. So from here we do some spot drilling. Again, there's holes for the peg that goes around in this spiral shape. They're 1/4 inch holes. So I did some standard spot drilling, and then I did a peck drill routine where I was doing 25% the diameter per pecking cycle. And so I think it was around about 4,500 RPM on this one. Made quick work of this drilling, and in fact I may change some of my other drilling methods because this just came out great. I was very pleased, and it's much faster than the deep drilling cycle I've been using. From here it's time to hog stuff out. I just did 2D adaptive on the 2 places in here. It came out okay. The first cut I had to adjust a couple of things here. We're moving at 90 inches a minute. We're at 7% of the diameter width of cut, and so what I noticed is I'm pushing that a little bit, and if I don't have the stock set just right, I get a little bit of chatter on that first initial cut as it goes around, but after that it sounds real nice, and it just chews it away. We're actually doing I want to say 260 depth of cut on this, so it does a nice job on it. Just takes a couple of minutes, a few minutes to run this part of it, and I'm really pleased. I'm using an IMCO 3 flute, it's a 3/8 end mill, and it's worked out great. I've been using this same end mill for quite a while now, and it's been working great. You notice we do a helical ramp into here, and then we just do a 2D contour to clean it up. From here, now we do some chamfering. The chamfering was in the drawing itself. Clean it up a little bit, but also to make sure that the peg goes in nicely. One thing that I thought was interesting is I selected the order that I was going to do this one, or at least I thought I did when I was selecting the geometry, but then Fusion reordered it for me. So I guess I had a selection in there to tell it to do. After that, flip it over, and we need to remove the excess stock. Probably could have used 3/8 stock instead of the 1/2 inch thick that I used on this one, but it's what I had, so I used 1/2 inch. With that, because I had so much to remove, I wanted to do this in one depth of cut, and so I used that same 3/8 end mill, same recipe. I just got it in the vise and let it run. It's actually running a facing operation. So same parameters, 90 inches a minute, 7% width of cut, and it just chews this up. It's amazing. So I made 10 of these, and I filled a 5-gallon bucket full of aluminum chips from this job. So little fun, but I got a fairly decent finish on this. The floor finish wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. I think partly because this was a rather shallow width of cut. I ended up with just a ton of little lines. Wasn't real happy with that. I know it's the bottom, you're never going to see it, but people will look at this. And so, yep, let's go back and we'll just do that same facing route that we did before. So, you know, starting in the job the same way, but tell you, it does a nice job, and that Superfly just gives an amazing mirror finish. So really, really pleased with how this turned out.